Hello and welcome to Ride On 2. I'm Chappie and today we're going to review the BMW F750 GS model year 2019 after 6 months of ownership and 3,800 miles. I do not have any affiliation with BMW. They do not know I'm making this video. This is just an honest owner's review after 3,800 miles and 6 months of ownership. I bought my own bike, and this is my opinion, and only my opinion. If you're looking for the short answer, do I like the bike? Would I buy it again? Yeah, most definitely. I would buy that bike again and again and again. And for what I purchased the bike for, it does everything that I could ask of it. I have a dirt bike. I did not buy it for the dual sporting, the off-roading, the adventure. I bought it more as a touring model. So me and my wife could go on motorcycle trips together on the same bike and do it comfortably. The creature comforts, there were a few things that I didn't really want in the premium package, but they came with the premium package. After having the bike, I'm glad I have them. Those things are keyless ride. You get a little key fob. You put this in your pocket. No need to get a key out. Just press a button. There is a 6.5-inch TFT display, which comes also with BMW connectivity. The connectivity will allow you to pair the bike with a GPS, a phone, and up to 2 rider helmets. I have the Senna 20S, and so does the wife. We are able to connect both helmets to the bike. Sometimes it can be finicky. If you run into problems, I've found the best way to get around that is to delete all the connections and start over. It allows me to control the music on the phone. You have to start the app, the music app that you're going to use on your phone. The bike will not open the app. So I usually open Amazon Music and select the playlist that I want, and then you can start, stop, skip the music. You can also make phone calls. It'll display turn-by-turn directions if you have the BMW Connected app installed on your phone, which I believe you also need to do the phone calls. The 750 also comes with an LED style element on the headlight. It comes with Gear Shift Assist Pro, which is basically BMW's version of a quick shifter. Heated grips. I also have a tire pressure monitor. The tire pressure is very accurate. I have tested it against numerous tire pressure gauges, and the bike gives a true reading. It has cruise control. It's a ride-by-wire, and to cancel the cruise control, you can either hit one of the 2 brakes or you can roll the throttle upwards. So you roll the throttle this way, and it will cancel your cruise control. It also has ABS and traction control, and you can shut it off if you want to as well. It also comes with GPS prep. I asked the dealer to remove that on my bike because I didn't want it. It is only good if you're going to use I want to say it's Garmin makes the BMW GPS, but it's $900. I wasn't paying $900 for a GPS unit. After the GPS prep, the last thing that is saddlebag mounts that comes standard on the premium package. Basically, this allows you to use BMW's Vario plastic hard bags. So the two most impressive things on the BMW 750 GS, in my opinion, is the dynamic ESA, or the electronic suspension adjustment. This allows the bike to change the dampening of your suspension in conjunction with the other favorite option of mine, which is the Ride Modes Pro. So there's 4 ride modes. You have Enduro, Rain, Road, and Dynamic. Enduro is for what it says, it's for off-road. When you select one of these ride modes, it automatically changes the dampening of your suspension to match. So when you select Enduro, it puts your suspension in Enduro mode, and it makes a difference. I have been on some dirt roads before I started playing around with that stuff, and it was like riding on marbles. And then I tried the Enduro mode, and it was like night and day. I mean, it wasn't like riding a dirt bike, but it was so much better. It was a little more stable. I don't mind riding in loose gravel and stuff if I'm on a dirt bike. Dirt bike weighs 150, 200 pounds. The GS weighs 500. And then there is Rain mode, which uses the road suspension. Your road suspension is like a touring, everyday back and forth, you know. It's soft enough to soak up the bumps, but not too soft. It still handles really well. I pretty much leave it in road. Not only the engine mapping, but the suspension as well. And then when you kick it into dynamic, it matches to dynamic suspension mode. The dynamic suspension mode is so much like a sport bike. It's stiff. The throttle response is a lot quicker. The suspension is stiffer, and you can carve through twisties. I mean, it'll go through the twisties. I mean, the way I ride, it's just as good to me as a sport bike. I'm not ripping through roads at 80, 90 miles an hour. So, you know, if you're going the speed limit a little bit above, it does great. In addition to that, the dynamic ESA, electronic suspension adjustment, also allows you to set the preload of your suspension without having to get a spanner wrench and adjust it. There are 3 settings. There is rider, rider with luggage, and rider with passenger. I use this all the time. When my wife gets on the back of the bike, even if we're not carrying any luggage, it's an extra 100 pounds sitting on the very back of the seat. I hold the suspension button and it opens up the suspension menu. So a quick press changes your dampening. You can go from road to dynamic and back to road. You cannot use Enduro unless you're in Enduro engine mapping. And if you're in Enduro engine mapping, you can only use Enduro suspension mode. So those two are locked. So basically you have 2 suspension dampenings. You have road and dynamic. And then there's 3 other engine mappings that can go with those. So I also have 2 additional add-ons that are not part of the premium package. I have the center stand and I have the comfort seat. I should note that the comfort seat and the dynamic ESA, if you are opting for the lowered model, you cannot get these. The dynamic ESA, the adjustment, preload adjustment, is not available for the lowered model. I have put other things on the bike. I have modded. I put the BMW handguards on it. I also changed the windscreen. The stock windscreen, no wind protection. Blast in the chest. I put a Puig windscreen on, it was $122. And dramatic difference. If I had it to do all over again, I would definitely buy the same bike. I love the color. The ability to put the wife on the back, load the luggage up, and go for a weekend, go for 3 days, 4 days. It's just, to me, it was so worth trading the sport style for the adventure style. I love the bike. It's a little top heavy with the passenger on it. So if you are a new rider and you're planning on riding with a passenger, I would maybe go towards a bike that's got like a lower center of gravity. If you're an experienced rider and you want a road version, venture style bike, the ability to carry luggage and a passenger comfortably, and you're experienced, this is a great bike. If you're going to ride by yourself, this is a great bike. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced rider, this bike will do anything you ask of it. I've done some off-roading. I would not do heavy off-roading with it. If you are a heavy off-road type of rider, you're going to put it through its paces in the woods, I would definitely go with something like the 850 because it has spoked wheels. The Honda has the Africa Twin. I wouldn't go towards the NC 700. That, as with my bike, has the smaller wheels, and they're mag wheels. You don't want that. You want the spoke wheels if you're going to ride off-road. So yeah, I mean, that's my review of the bike after, a full riding season. We put just under 4,000 miles on it. We went on 2 trips. We did a lot of riding, and this was such an improvement over the previous bike. My wife actually asked to go riding some days. Right there, that alone was worth the price of purchase. So hey, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helped you. If you're thinking of buying one of these bikes, I cannot stress how good this bike has been. I cannot stress how comfortable the bike is. Whether you're riding by yourself, riding with a passenger, the 850 motor has plenty of power. I know the 750's been tuned down, but it's still an 850. Braking could be better. I feel the brakes may be undersized. It stops, but again, I'm coming from a sport bike. So comparing the braking on this bike to the sport bike probably isn't fair, but it's noticeable. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Like I said, it's an honest owner's review after 1 season of riding and just almost 4,000 miles. I want to say it's 3,800 and something. Thank you for watching. Until next time, ride safe, ride often, and ride on too.